Good morning and welcome to today's verse. Today's verse comes to us from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, and I will read it. It says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Now, this is a verse that I can truly identify with. I would say is my life verse. I've had to go back to it time and time again. And maybe you too. God has called you to do something. And whatever that might be, you're fearful. And fear causes us not to move, not to act. Fear is not of God. Notice it said that God has not given us a spirit of fear. Fear is of the enemy. The enemy will not have you to move forward and do whatever it is God has called you to do. And I can remember how I ran. I did not want to preach. I did not want to teach. I did not want to stand in front of God's people. I was so afraid. But when I finally yield, I remember praying to the Lord many years ago, saying, "God, please just don't let me be an embarrassment to stand before the people." And so many times I would stand and I would have panic attacks to the point that I couldn't even speak. And it used to bother me so bad. But then I began to embrace it. You know why? Because I began to realize that in my weakness, God's power was made perfect, that it wasn't me, that it was all about God. And I would spend more time in prayer and in my relationship with God more so than study. Don't rehearse anything. And sometimes that comes across that I don't rehearse. But anyway, to God be the glory that God is the one that gives you the power to fulfill the ministry, the call, whatever God has called you to do. Notice he gives us a spirit of power to move forward, power to do what he has called you to do. Even though you may not be equipped, you think, if you step forward by faith, God will give you the power to fulfill whatever it is he's called you to do. Not only does he give you power, but he gives you love, a spirit of love. And this is not love like, the world loves, but this is that agape love, the love in spite of. And perfect love casts out fear. To God be the glory. And the last thing is that he gives you a spirit of a sound mind, of self-discipline, of self-control, that you can focus on whatever it is that God has called you to do. To God be the glory for the great things he has done. I pray that you would meditate upon this verse. It would be a word of encouragement to you. And if God is calling you to do something, whatever that might do, do not sit back in fear, in hesitation, or trying to resist. If God has a call on your life, guess what? You're not going to outrun him. Nowhere you can run from the Lord. Trust in the Lord. He will empower you and equip you, for he has not given you a spirit of fear, but a power of love and of a sound mind. I pray that you would enjoy this weekend as you go throughout this weekend. And I pray that you would just have a safe day today. And then tomorrow, I understand that the weather, there may be a wintry mix coming. So be safe out there. And as best you can, make sure that you join together with the other saints of God on Sunday and fellowship and worship. And then on Monday morning, God's willing, we'll see you right back here on today's verse. Amen. Amen.